You know, normally in a lesson, I'd have you play your assignment from the previous tutorial and then I'd give you feedback and we'd work on it together, which is a really important part of the piano learning process. While I'm trying to make these videos feel more interactive, I obviously can't see or hear you. And that is one of the biggest setbacks of being self taught. So, to take away that disadvantage, we'll get to it in this lesson. Last week, we discussed the correct piano posture, finger numbers, note names, and the relations to the groups of 2 and 3 black keys. If you don't know what any of those things mean, that means you need to go back to that lesson so you have a better understanding before you watch this one. But if you're good with all of that, let's go. Today, we're learning about rhythm and note values. Rhythm happens when we first set a steady pulse or beat and then play notes with different lengths or note values on top of that steady beat. The definition will make more sense in a minute. A steady pulse or beat is that internal toe tip of the music, the thing that we all instinctively feel. We feel when we run, when we listen to a clock ticking, or when we listen to free music from YouTube. The pulse of the music can be slow or fast, or anywhere in between. The pulse or tempo that we choose should represent what the music is about. For example, slower tempo for sad music, or quicker tempo for happier songs. That's way oversimplifying it, but I'm sure you get the idea. Now, let's learn about note values. So we can start practicing rhythms, and there are quite a few different note values, and today we're going to learn 4 of the most common ones. So first, what is a note? A note is just a symbol that represents one pitch or key on the piano. There's the note head at the bottom and then the stem. You can check this handy note value chart right here. When you see a note that's failed in this chart, it is called the quarter note and it gets 1 beat. I'm going to set a steady pulse and then play 4 quarter notes. Easy, right? The hollow note is called a half note and we hold it for 2 counts. So here's my steady pulse and here's my 2 half notes. We move on to a dotted half note and we hold it for 3 beats. Again, steady pulse, and let's get to it. The last one we'll learn today is the whole note. This is a hollow note but without a stem, and we hold it for 4 beats. Steady pulse. By using these different note values in different combinations, with a steady pulse, we get a rhythm. So let's try a few examples together. I'll use all the note values for this rhythm and use our steady pulse together. Count it out loud as we play any note on the piano or clap. Good. Let's try another one at a slightly faster tempo. Here's the pulse. Alright, so that's the note value. Make sure to memorize them and be able to recall their values. And there's one more component to the rhythm that we need to know, and that's the time signatures. Time signatures are found at the beginning of a piece, and they consist of two numbers. The top and the bottom number represents different things. But right now, we're only going to worry about the top number. So the top number tells us the beats in a measure, or how many beats there are in a measure. Measures are groups of notes separated by bar lines. Now, here's the entire rhythm. As you may see, the time signature is at the very beginning of the entire rhythm. In this case, the time signature we have is called a 4/4 time. Look at the top number. We know there are 4 beats in every measure, so let's add our notes until we get to 4. Quarter notes are 1 beat, and in that case, we can count it as 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 4. Now we have the bar line, and the one behind it is a measure, just for clarification. After that, we have the half notes, and we count it as 2 plus 2 equals 4, which is another measure, and we add another bar line. Then we have a 1 dotted half note and then a quarter note, so that's 3 plus 1 equals 4. And we know the whole note gets the full measure, and it's all by itself. This example has 4 measures, and we ended all with a double bar line. Now that we know about the time signatures, I want to change the way we count our note values. Since we know that there are 4 beats in every measure, we'll count on the first measure as 1, 2, 3, 4. If we see 4 quarter notes instead of 1, 1, 1, 1, let's use our first rhythm again, but now we'll count it into 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Another common time signature is a 3/4 time, and we would count it to 3. But for the assignment I'm going to show you is by using the 6/4 time, and we'll be counting in 6. And actually, let's get to our assignment for this lesson. I want you to practice Amazing Grace. And this is a very familiar tune, and some of you with good ears might be able to figure out this tune just by messing around on the piano. This is a great skill to have, but for now, I want you to follow the notes and rhythms that are written with your eyes as you play, because this is how we learn and improve our music, reading, and comprehension. Let's first find your hand position. So I have my right hand finger 1 on middle C and my left hand finger 1 on B, just below the middle C. In our first lesson, or last lesson, I basically pointed out every single note in Happy Birthday and told you where it was on the piano. By the way, if you haven't memorized your note names on the piano yet, do it. This time I'm going to just play it for you, and then I'm going to leave it up to you to practice on your own. Or you can pause the video and read the music sheet that I'm about to show you. So look at the time signature in the first measure. Do you notice anything that looks off? If you notice that there are 2 beats in the first measure when there are supposed to be 6 in every measure, you're right. The one beside the time signature is called a pick-up bar or upbeats. These upbeats are in what I described are stolen beats from the last measure on the bottom and brought them up to the top. So we'll start counting the top measure with beats 5 and 6. And the last measure will only count it up to 4. Now, let's set the tempo, and to match my speed, you can screenshot the music and play along with me. 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so practice Amazing Grace for a week, and remember the sectional practicing that we did in the previous lesson on Happy Birthday. You can use that on Amazing Grace as well, and it will speed up your learning. Now, I want to teach you your warm-ups for this lesson. You have 2. The first is using the groups of 2 black keys and reinforcing the note names that are near those groups. You can start anywhere on the piano. Just make sure you have at least 3 hops. And you'll start with the left fingers 2 and 3. And play the groups of 2 black keys as you play. And you'll say near C, D, E. And then lift and go to the next higher group of black keys, and you'll say the same thing, near C, D, E. And you hop one more time and a little higher, and again say the exact same thing, near C, D, E. You can also do this with your right hand as well, with the same pattern. And now we'll move on to the next group, which are the 3 black keys. And this time I will use my right hand. And as soon as you put your fingers on the 3 black keys, you'll say near F, G, A, and B. And then you'll hop to the next group of 3 black keys higher and say the same thing, near F, G, A, and B. And then hop one more time and again say the exact same thing. Of course, with the 3 black keys, I also want you to do it with your left hand with the same principles. as you play this simple warm-up, I also want you to pay attention to your wrist and how you move from one group to the next. The second warm-up I want you to do is in the C position, which means your right hand finger 1 is on middle C and your left hand finger 5 is on the bass C, which is the C below middle C. And you'll be playing it in a contrary motion, and it looks like this. And here are things to listen and watch out for you as you practice these exercises. Number 1, make sure that you're only playing one note at a time in each hand. Sometimes our fingers get sloppy and want to hold down notes after we play them. Listen and make sure you get a nice, clean sound. Number 2, make sure the left hand and right hand are both playing their notes at the exact same time because you don't want a rolled effect. Three, listen for an evenness of notes, all at the same steady tempo. So set your pulse before you begin. If you're confident in all three things I just mentioned, then gradually increase the tempo, getting just a little bit faster. But if you increase the tempo and the things get sloppy, it just means you've gotten too fast and too soon and need to bump the tempo back a little. Always listen as you play and record yourself if that helps. That is all for this lesson. And you have any questions, anything that I miss, please don't hesitate to comment down on the comment section below. And thank you all for watching. Until then, catch you all on the next lesson.